Hi guys, Blake here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is Saturday the 31st of October, Halloween. And today I have boated up here to what we call Dino's Dock, which is actually Scooter's Dock, I have just learned. I guess about 10 years ago, a guy by the name of Scooter bought the property that we call Dino's here, and it's been in his possession for the last 10 years or so. So Dino's Dock is actually Scooter's Dock. Got a little Taneycomo history lesson just before I turned the video on. Group of guys that are staying here now have been coming to the lake for 48 years, and they've been staying in this property here for quite some time. So anyway, just a little note, pretty interesting. So it is Scooter's Dock. Today I have been hearing from a few different buddies, and I was up waiting at the dam the other night, and I've seen people being successful on these little plastic beads. They're an egg pattern imitation. I think, I can't remember the name of the company right now that makes them, and I'm sure there's more than one, but anyway, they're basically just little plastic beads. They come in different sizes and colors to imitate eggs. They use these a lot in like Michigan for salmon fishing, or in Alaska as an egg imitation. And so the way you hook these up, you just slide them on the line, okay? And I think this one is a size 6, I believe. No, a size 8, I'm sorry. And they have them all the way up to size 14, which is pretty big egg pattern, okay? So you slide it up the line, you pick it with a little toothpick and break the toothpick off, and then you tie, and I don't think the hook matters so much, but that is a little size 10 egg hook. And then just for fun, I tied a dropper scud on the back. That's a peppy gray scud, size 12 on a 200R hook. And I'm gonna set this, probably a couple foot deeper. Set it about 8 or 9 foot deep, just to make sure I drag the bottom. And I couldn't find the split shots I wanted, so I just put one on that's probably about 0.6 grams, maybe 0.8. And we're gonna start here below Scooter's Dock and try this egg pattern. Now, I've never used one of these before. My buddy Al Tung said that he was using one at Bennett Springs last week and was doing really well on them. And I saw a gentleman up at the dam the other day using one, and he was catching a number of large brown trout and rainbow that were definitely over 20 inches, all on that little plastic bead. So I'm gonna let the boat get to drifting. I'm gonna scoot out here just a little bit and we're gonna give it a try. Oh, let's see. The weather today was quite beautiful here in late October. We had a temperature of about 70 degrees. The sun was shining. The rain's finally moved out. And this flat below Scooter's Dock is always a good spot for fish, especially whenever I find that it holds more fish when the water's running. It's a good eddy. It's a nice flat. In certain places, when you're using this plastic egg with that dropper hook, you actually have to keep the hook within 2 inches or so of the egg. Different states have different regulations. Different bodies of water have their own special rules. Here on Taneycomo, I don't know. I'd have to look into it, so I don't want to say whether for sure we have a set rule, but I know that most places require that the hook be within 2 inches, or else it's just kind of considered snagging. Oh, there's one right there. And that is a fish on the first cast. Oh no, he got off. Oh, I don't know if that counts. we'll have to take that one to the officiator. That was a very small rainbow. I know I didn't get him on camera. He was probably 6 or 7 inches long. Most likely a natural born Taneycomo trout there that I just hooked into. And he hit the scud that I had underneath the egg. Something that I was talking to about with Lanny up at the dam the other day, Lanny Staples. He said that sometimes he'll put that plastic bead on there, but with no hook tied on below it, and then tie a fly or two below the egg, and the egg acts just as an attractant. They come over, they see the egg, and then they see the fly behind it, and they'll hit that dropper fly instead, but the egg gets their attention, which is another thing you could do. I think in that case the fish may have seen the egg first and then saw the scud and took the scud. Anyway, they've been running water conditions. They've been running water about 1 unit. They ran it all day yesterday. They've been running it all day today, and according to the schedule, if they stick to that, they'll be running the 1 unit all night tonight. I imagine that they're trying to play around with getting rid of some of the water that we got. I know we got a lot of rain in the last 5 days, 5 or 6 days. I'm really curious as to whether that fish counts. I did get him up to the boat, but I didn't get him in the boat. That might be a fish on the first cast. It's been a while. I was talking to the gentleman up there that's staying at what we call Dino's. It's actually Scooter's, and he said that Scooter would come down to the dock every night and feed the trout, and they said that they used to see Frank the tank all of the time there in front of their dock eating whenever he'd come out to feed them. Oh, that might have been a bite. I've got a pretty heavy weight on here. Like I said, I couldn't find the thing I wanted, but I'm pretty sure this split shot weighs between 0.6 and 0.8 grams. And I put it on there because I feel like that plastic bead, even though I never fished them until right now, probably has a little bit of buoyancy. So whereas I would normally use maybe like a 0.5 gram or maybe even a little smaller for this kind of flow, I figured I needed something a little bigger, because I think that plastic bead has a little bit of buoyancy with it. And I've got the split shot, like I said, about 12 inches above the egg, and then the scud is about 12 inches below that. If you hold your rod tip up in the air, like I'm doing right now, I've got just barely any fly line on the water, and that keeps the line from getting pulled down the lake and keeps it from pulling the fly faster than it should be pulled, and it also leaves a lot less distance between you and your hook set whenever that fish does finally take your fly. Last night I went fishing with Steve Rohrback and his son-in-law, and we went up to the dam since they were running the water, and the night bite was real good on the Signature Series jerkbait. I don't know, we probably caught 40 fish, and it was just a fun time. I looked down and it was already 1 a.m. and I did not know where the time went. Fishing reports for today. I've heard varied reports. A lot. I had a few boats just come in not too long ago that they only reported catching 1 fish all day. But I had another one come back earlier. They were drifting night crawlers filled with air and said that they caught their limits. So kind of a mixed bag of reports. And I've been hearing a lot more reports of people catching fish on jigs. Monkey Island has been a hot spot this last week. I've been getting good reports about the flat, you know, about that 100-yard long flat in front of Monkey Island. I've been getting good reports about it. People going down there and catching fish on orange and white power eggs, night crawlers, and different sculpin variety of jigs. I'm going out with some family from Marshall tonight. Gonna take them and show them what the night fishing's about. So hoping they keep this water running. I've noticed that I seem to catch some more fish at night lately with the water on versus off. With the brown trout just getting done with their mating run, there should be starting to see some eggs in the water, which might be the reason I've seen people using these setups lately. And the rainbow trout, I know I've talked about it a few times last week, but they are getting ready to start their mating run here in the next, oh, that was definitely a fish, here in the next month or so. And had a family that's staying with us. They were cleaning their fish just a little bit ago, and the couple of the female rainbow trout that they were cleaning already had eggs in them, and so this egg pattern could be a good way to go. They do make the little cloth, little fur egg patterns, whatever you want to call them. I forget what material they use to make those, but those also work really well out here. I just think that these plastic trout beads kind of do a better job of imitating the translucency of a real fish egg, and just think they look a little better. I did not get a chance to talk to any of the guides today. I was closing shift, so they were already said and gone by the time I got to work. Just gonna pull this up and make sure that I do not have any moss on my rig here. Well, so far, other than that fish I had on first thing, I have not found another one. So definitely gonna have to play around and see which, Like I said, they make a ton of colors in these things, so I have to play around and figure out which color imitates the eggs the fish see here the most and which size. I picked one that maybe a little bigger than most of the eggs they would see here, but also there's running water, and anytime there's water running you can use a bigger presentation to get the fish's attention, so I went a little bigger than I thought was natural sized. And I think I'll just go a little bit below the boat ramp down here on Acacia Club, and I'll have to call it a day. I still got to get back and make sure boats are gassed and cleaned. But I wanted to come out and try something new. Been seeing some seagulls on the lake lately. They just kind of came in the last 2 weeks or so. But I probably saw 10 or 20 of them flying around at the dam the other day when I was wading, and there's one just right across the lake from me right now. I sure would like to see one of these fish take this egg though. Lots of boats on the water today. Naturally, it's a Saturday and beautiful outside, so we sent out quite a few more rentals than we have this rainy week. And oh no, oh my gosh, that hurts my feelings. I saw that fish flash his side whenever he took my fly there, and he looked really decent. Well, I'm getting right here next to the boat ramp, and I am getting a few bites. The water's gotten a little deeper than it was around that bend, so it's possible I should have started here in the deeper water. I definitely didn't see too many swimming around on that shallow flat whenever I was going by. And this boat ramp has always been a good spot. Yeah, we'll go just a couple more minutes here. I'm just about to the boat ramp now. Something I'm always paying attention to is when I'm using flies that I want to keep on the bottom on my fly rod under the indicator, I always watch that bobber, because if it stops kind of occasionally getting pulled because the weight's hitting the bottom, then you're not fishing it deep enough or you don't have enough weight. So just a little something I always keep an eye on. I do have a good tick going right now, so I'm set just about where I need to be. But if you don't have it set right and you're fishing something that needs to be on the bottom and it's not, doesn't matter how good the fly is, if it's not in the right area, you're gonna probably not catch very many fish. Sometimes even if you put it in the right spot, you may not catch many fish, but you definitely want to have it at least in the right spot. And we got somebody fly fishing from the bank over here off by the boat ramp, and I don't know, they're fishing something under an indicator over there in the shallow water, and she's got one on. Oh, there's one. And he took the scud. Now, this is the one terrible part about having two flies on. Come here, buddy. All right, I'm just gonna, there we go, a nice little pretty stalker. And well, I feel like trying again, so I think that's one of the last cast rules. If you catch a fish, you get another cast. So one more cast. I probably should have ended it with a fish, but I don't think I mentioned what kind of tippet I was using. Using 5X tippet. Anytime the water's running, I think you're good to use. Oh, there's another one. I think you're good to use 5X. I think with just a little bit of water running, it takes the visibility enough away that the 5X does plenty good, and they really can't see it at that point. I know there are times when the water's off that they can see 5X, and I've seen it make a difference, but for the most part, when the water's running, I think you can get away with 5X. You always want to go as heavy as you can, that way you don't break off all the time. And another one on the scud. They're liking the scud today. And this one's just about the same size. Another. Whoop. Come here, buddy. All right. Well, he doesn't get any camera time today. All right. Well, I got to do it again. Just can't resist. So I'd be curious to know if I had another rig set up to just throw that scud out there without the fly or without the egg fly and see if that makes a difference. If that egg is getting attracting them in and getting them near to see the scud, or if it's just a scud thing. That would be interesting to know. But looks like once you drop below the boat ramp, they're biting the scud pretty good. Right now I'm favoring the inside edge by the docks. The water is a little bit slower because of that bend in the lake here. Also, it's a little shallower over here. If I scooted out to the middle, I would need to increase my depth again. I've got it set at about 10 foot right now, and it's probably about 14 foot in the middle out there, so I'd have to drop it to at least 14 or 15 to get the flies to bounce across the bottom like they're supposed to, and that can be a bit of a pain trying to run 15 foot a leader underneath your indicator and net the fish by yourself. So I'll just stay over here where I don't have to play around with making it deeper. Now here at the end, there's this long dock, which goes with the River Bluff Apartments, I believe is the name of them, here off the end of Acacia Club. After this long dock that belongs to those, oh, there was another bite. There is a flat that starts kind of right before Short Creek and goes down to, a little bit before Trout Hollow Lodge. It gets deep again. But that flat right now with one generator running is probably 8 foot, maybe 9 foot deep, and it's a good spot. A lot of fish hold there, and for some reason I see a lot of rainbows in the evening getting chased by what I assume are big browns, just right there in that flat. It's always right there on the flat. I don't know why. I guess it's just a good chasing ground. And I have thrown the jerk last spring. We threw our jerk baits across that flat when the floodwaters are running, and caught some nice brown trout. And it's starting to shallow up a little bit again here. Dead even with the front of the docks now, or the front of the long dock. All right, I'm gonna give it to the end of the dock and then I'm calling it. So just in case anyone didn't know, they're in front of what we call Dino's dock, or Scooter's dock as I now know it. There is a large, very large root wad that sets out in front of that dock. And the gentleman I was talking to said that someone was going full bore earlier and hit it and did a lot of damage to their boat and motor. And just something to be aware of. You can kind of, even whenever the water's running pretty quick, you can see the riffles that come off of it, and it's just right before their dock, going along the inside edge. And just something to be aware of. If you're going up past around that corner towards Fall Creek, stay out towards the middle of the lake, or even on the bluff side. Because if you hit that thing going terribly fast, it could even injure or kill somebody if it flipped their boat or ripped a hole in it. And there's even right here in front of this dock, there's actually one somewhere out in front of me right now. And when the water's low enough, you can accidentally hit that, and they do a significant amount of damage. So if you're out here for your first time or not too familiar with it, just kind of take your time and look around, because it is they're easy to hit. All right, I made it to the end of the dock, guys. So we thank you for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and we will do it again for you tomorrow.